Hey, Ryan here from Eminence. This video is going to be a follow-up video to another one I did on the subject of spam conversions in Google Ads. So you can go find that one on YouTube if you search for spam conversions, Google Ads. So one of the conclusions of that video was that the search partner setting in a Google Ads search campaign was generating these spam conversions. I'll show you, if you don't know what search partners is, in the campaign settings, you would go to networks, and then there's a checkbox to include Google search partners. So this would be other search sites that are syndicating Google search. So it's not google.com, and these tend to be a little bit lower quality, usually cheaper. In that first video, I talk about one of the logical reasons this could be happening is that some of these partners are trying to generate more conversions and using fake ones in order to kind of prioritize their own traffic to get more traffic flowing to their networks and make more money. So the thinking here would be that if a campaign's running maximize conversions like I am on these campaigns here, or maximize conversion value, the system's looking for conversions. And then if a type of traffic is producing conversion, it's going to divert more traffic to that source. So this is really the one logical reason I could think of that this would be happening. This isn't Google generating these, but it's probably some other network that's abusing their own traffic to create these conversions in order to filter more traffic to themselves. So again, make sure search partners is off on your campaigns, or just be careful when you're testing it. But I wanted to follow up on that last video because I've seen more of these fake leads coming in on 2 different accounts, and it tends to present itself like this. So I have an email from a client where they've just been receiving several leads. They kind of get an influx of leads, and then they try to call and email them, and they're not responsive, or the emails are bad, or the phone numbers are bad. It's like, here's an example of a lead that came through. Usually it's through a form because they're not going to go through the process of phone calls. So they're just like maybe using bots to submit forms. So here's like an example, like first name, last name, Lori Minor. Usually there's some clues. The form submission looks weird. In this case, there's a date of birth that was today, a date in the future, actually. They kind of disguise themselves as good leads. Like the email actually matches the name. There's a legitimate phone number that usually doesn't connect, but it looks real. So it could even be humans that are selecting these, because like in this case, there's a Google reCAPTCHA is on the form to protect from like bot spam. So it's hard to tell if these are human generated or bots. And if you were to contact Google Ads support, which I did in the first case, they're just going to tell you to like protect your site from spam with Google reCAPTCHA, make sure the form is protected, which you should always do, but that doesn't help the problem. It's really a band-aid, because the negative traffic, the bad traffic is coming through Google Ads. You're paying for those clicks. Maybe if you block the form submissions, you will slow down this traffic. I still think they're probably going to make the clicks. It's going to cost you money, even if they don't submit the form. But again, even with reCAPTCHA on this site, the spam protection, we're still getting these fake submissions. So in the 2 recent examples of this, both of them were coming, I believe, well, both accounts had PMAX campaigns, Performance Max campaigns running. So I believe in both cases, that's where the bad spam conversions were coming from. In the case of this first account, we actually paused Performance Max, and then the client told me that the spam conversion stopped, but they also lost a lot of good leads. So we actually determined that we wanted to turn it back on. Even in spite of the spam conversions, they were willing to take the good with the bad. So that might be a step in your account. Turn off Performance Max, see if it helps. But again, there were good leads coming at the same time. Another thing we were able to determine from this client is that they were coming from a syndicated search URL, or Google syndicated search. I searched that on ChatGPT, and they basically said, this domain is primarily used to serve search results or ads from Google's custom search engine when it is embedded on third-party websites. So yeah, this could be like smaller search engines using Google search, or websites that have Google search, they're showing ads. If you have a form plugin running that shows a referral URL, you could see something similar like Google syndicated search. That was the clue to me that it wasn't coming from search campaigns, but some other type of campaign. So I mentioned the process I went through with Google. If you have a rep there, you might want to let them know, but they weren't real helpful. They didn't even really admit to the problem, but just encouraged some like spam protection on the website, which I kind of complained to them that it's not really an answer to the question, but still good to let them know. Submit a ticket, talk to the rep if you have one on your account, and let them know this is going on. So in the case of this first account, we paused Performance Max, turned it back on, And actually in about 3 to 4 weeks, the fake leads actually stopped. So even though Google doesn't really admit to it, I'm sure they're dealing with this issue on a regular basis and trying to combat it because it looks really bad when these bad conversions are coming through paid search ads or even syndicated search ads on partner sites. So it kind of resolved itself on this one. This second account, it just started happening. So we're kind of in the process of deciding, like, do we want to pause Performance Max or just let it run? Probably let the rep on the account know that this is going on. And I'm just hoping that it's going to resolve itself, or Google's going to figure out like where these are coming from and block them. I'm not sure how Google would ever really know though, unless these are reported to them. So that's also why it's important to submit a ticket or contact your Google Ads rep to let them know this is going on in your account. I'm curious to know what other people are experiencing with this, and maybe if you're learning something different, getting some information from Google support or resolving it in some way. So make sure to comment if you have some experience or even if you have questions. And I am planning on creating a blog post on this topic because I think I'll have more information to add. So make sure to check out the blog post. That's going to be linked in the description for more information. Make sure to go back and watch the first video on spam conversions if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you on the next one.